everyone, Tracy here. Today I'm going to share with you my top 10 Fauxbonichi supplies. This was a challenge put on by Felicia, who is known on YouTube as MousePotatoDesigns. Well, she's the one that started up the Fauxbonichi Journalers site on Facebook. And she challenged everybody, if you did videos, and if not, just to write down your top 10 supplies you use in your Fauxbonichi. The draw was today, so I totally missed out on it, which is fine. And I thought, well, I'm going to share what I use anyway. So the first thing, which I'm not even considering this as number one, because I'd have way too many if I considered, I have a lot of stuff I use in my Fauxbonichi, as I'm sure most people do. But, of course, you need a journal, and I use these ones here, the Miguel Ruiz. I use those, and I'm on my second one, and I just always have a belly band around it. This is actually a headband. Actually, I think they're both headbands. This one's just a little tighter, and then I just stuck little flowers on it to make it look pretty. So, your book, and then I will go by how I do my pages. You know what? We'll do these ones, because you've seen these pages already. So I start off with my washi tape. I like to washi tape 2 pages together because I don't like the bleed through of them. So I washi tape my pages together, and I'll show you my washi tape collection, and it's quite big. I was going to say embarrassingly big, but you know what? I use it. I'm not actually embarrassed by it at all. So I'll show you how I store it just quickly. I'll do another detailed video on that. So here is how I store, and here's my washi tape collection. I had to take my camera off the tripod to do this. So here is how I store my washi tape. I store it in these pull-out drawers. I have 2 separate drawers, one stacked on the other. And I have them by color, and I labeled the color with these little circle things. So here is my reds and my fun washi tapes. They're in this drawer. Pinks, I never thought I'd have so many pinks. I didn't think I was a pink person, but apparently I am. And I'm not a big yellow or orange person. I really don't care for those colors. So I put my purples in here, and then this is just some overflow. And look, I have, well, I was going to say I have room to grow, but I bought 3 more. I've had 3 more of these ones that aren't in there. So those ones. And then my blue and greens are in there. My black, and you really don't have that much white, so my blacks are in here, and then browns are at the very bottom, or at the very back. And then this is seasonal, so Halloween, mostly just Halloween and Christmas, because Valentine's Day kind of went with the pinks. And I like these containers because I could just take one out and move it to my work area, because I usually do my journaling upstairs in the living room. So that is how I hold my washi tape. So far, I've gone through so many different kinds of storage for it, but yeah, so there's my washi tape. That is my number one. My second must-have in my Fauxbonichi would be my templates, and I keep them in the back. This isn't a template, this is just a piece of cardboard that I got from some yummy treats, and I put them in between my pages if I'm going to have bleed through from my markers or coloring mediums. So I just adhered this envelope to the back page of my book, and I put my templates in this. So here is my header template, and you have seen this before if you've watched my setting up my Fauxbonichi. And also, this is the one template I use for my son. And I'll show you that. Here is how I use my header template. And like I said, if you check out that video, I'll put a link below and you can check that out. I just put it up, make my ticks, and this is 6 down. And then my thankful section at the bottom is 6 up. So there's a line there. Here's for my art journal. I don't seem to have my art journal block anymore. I kind of come and go with that, and like this was too big, so I had to extend it, but that's for my art block. And yeah, and so what I do actually is, this is for this side because it's rounded. This one corner's rounded, so you just put it up to this rounded corner, and then you know this is for this page, and then I just flip it over, and I know that this one is for this page because the ends, the one edge is cornered. And then this is my sun template. I've had some people ask me if these are stamps. or if these are, if I draw them, and I semi-draw them. I draw the clouds, and then for the sun, because I can't make a nice circle, I punch this out with just, I can't remember what size punch it was, one of the smaller ones anyway, and I just put that on there and draw a circle around it. So that's how I make my suns. So templates are my second pick for my top 10 Fauxbonichi supplies. My third choice would be tiny rulers, and I also keep those in this little makeshift envelope in the back there. And I have two that I use. Mostly this one here, it's just a clear ruler because I want to make all my lines nice and straight, so I want to use a ruler. And I bought this one here because I thought I could take away my little template here, and this circle here, because it's not only is a ruler, it has the little circles in it, and this circle here is perfect size if I wanted to make the sun. Well, near perfect. But when I put my washi on, and again, if you check out my one video, you'll see when I put it along here, I just tear it with the ruler. Well, this ruler, because it has the holes in it, it's a little bit weaker, and I actually cracked it in between these two circles. So I do sometimes because I forget, and I just grab whatever's closest, but I try not to use this one to rip the washi off. I always use this one. I have no idea where I bought this, how old it is. I think I had it in school, so it's an antique actually. So that would be my third pick, is rulers, and I like the small see-through plastic rulers. I have to apologize if you hear a lot of water and machinery upstairs. My husband is shampooing the carpet. I just decided I'd sneak down here and do a video. So what is this? My fourth pick is pens. Of course, you cannot journal unless you have pens, and I've tried a few different ones out. I've tried out these Ink Joys, and I know everybody has their own taste and preference in pens. I didn't like these because they would skip. As you're writing, parts of the letter or the word would be missing because they skipped. So I didn't like those. And also these Sonic Gels, these were the same things. As I was writing, they would skip. And I also tried the erasable markers, I don't know, or the erasable pens, but I didn't like them because I want my stuff to be permanent. I tried these Stettlers. These are nice. What I didn't like about them was they were a little too thin for me. My writing is very primary, so I like a little bit thicker nib. These were good. I love these, and actually these were only from Dollarama, and they were $3, and I really like these. The only problem with these is my black ran out. I can use all the colors, but my black is all gone because that's what I journal in, is mostly in blacks. I love these Sharpies, these thin Sharpies, fine line Sharpies. I'm not even sure if that's the name of them, but I keep them in one of these Ziploc bags because I do my journaling. My journal comes with me everywhere, so they fit nicely in here. So I like to journal with these. And also, what I like to do, this one here is a little thicker. It's an ultra fine point, but it's actually thicker than these ones. And I like these because they give a nice dark line, and it's a little bit thicker nib than these. So I use these to draw my header lines in. And I've been using this. I heard of it, lots of people talking about precision pens, and these are the closest I can find, and I don't think these are the right ones because they're precise. They're precise rolling ball. I really like these. These are really nice. I bought a package of 3. Unfortunately, within 2 days, 2 of these ones were dried out. Somebody had told me that maybe my nibs got clogged, but I don't usually write over top of a medium. Like if I'm coloring with pencil crayons or anything like that, I usually don't go over top of them, so I don't know how the nib got clogged up. But 2 of these didn't work. This one still works. I got a week, I think, each out of these, and then this one's still going. And then I bought this one up at Blix. It's just a black marker. It's a Le Pen by Marvy. And I'm trying to get in frame. And I really like this pen. It bleeds through a little bit though, but I double my pages so it doesn't really matter. But this is very light. It's very skinny and very light. And I don't know, I like a little bit thicker barrel, I guess. I want some substance to my pens. This one is heavier, and as you can see the difference in the thickness, this one's more comfortable to draw or to write. This one is compared to the skinny one, but I like how this one writes as well. So those are my choices for pens. These are the ones that I use mostly. So that was which one was that? I got so much stuff on here now. So that was number 4. Number 5 are stamps. Next on my list for my top 10 Fauxbonichi supplies are stamps. And I use different types of stamps. I use date stamps, I use border stamps sometimes, I use images and words. And we will start with the date stamps. And I usually don't show my product because I figure you can use what you have, or unless of course I'm on a design team, but I have had so many requests to show which stamps I use. So I use this one here for the letters. It's a 7 Gypsies that I got quite a while ago, and I like this for the fact that the numbers are nice and bold. See how big they are? I like to open the page and know what day it is. So I really like these for the boldness of the numbers. These ones here, I like the size of the day of the week, but I don't care for the font so much. It looks to me like it's a Western style, if that makes any sense. And here, I'll show you a close-up of it. I like more plain and simple. So I was using it, obviously, because it fit perfectly. And I had mentioned this many times, I made the header by the size of the stamps I own. So I suggest you do the same instead of running out and buying a whole bunch of supplies just because you want it to fit the header to what you have. And then these ones, these are wooden stamps, and I like that I like the font of them as well. They're nice and simple. So I don't really care for the font of the days of the week, but I like the fonts of the months. But the only thing with working with wooden stamps, and I'm sure a lot of you know this, they are not put on the block straight. So you have to stamp it a few times to make sure it's not stamping this way, not stamping this way. You want it nice and straight. So you got to stamp it a few times to see the feel of it. And I was stamping December, and it had an arc to it. So I actually took it off the block and put it back on again. But yeah, so these ones are from, I think, Inkadinkadoo. Or, no, Stampabilities. So that's what those ones are. And see, they're nice and crisp. I like well, that one doesn't look crisp because I moved it. Let's see. There we go, July. I think July would actually stamp straight. I'm not even sure. But what I did do was I just purchased these stamps here from Stamping Up. And the reason is I love the days of the week. They're nice and crisp in a simple font. And so I'm going to change those up. But let me show you. I'm going to have to probably somehow change my header or play around with it because, see, Friday, this paper I used Adirondack ink for that, and I usually don't, but I wanted it a nice dark color. But I don't know if you can notice, but it kind of bled a little bit. But I think it's more the paper than the stamp or the ink. I think it's the paper. But I love how it is nice like that. It's nice, and I just like the font. But I was playing around, and I might be able to fit, because as you can see, I can't fit the month on here. And this is just, the stamps are just too big. And my daughter was looking at this, and she liked the monthly stamp on as well. But I think I might be able to use, even though I don't care for that font, I like the font of the months. So I might be able to squeeze that down in the corner and then bring this up higher. Then maybe I don't have to change my header layout. But we will see. And another thing I use that really isn't a stamp, it's a rub-on, but are these Heidi Swap numbers. I love them. You have a whole year in one package. And this is what let's see, where are they? Here we go. And here they are. You just rub them on and go. So you don't have to worry about stamping or anything like that. You just rub it on. And they're durable too. Like, I've had this for, well, almost a year now. Another type of stamp I like to use sometimes are border stamps. If I don't want to use washi tape, then I'll use border stamps just to keep my Fauxbonichi a little bit less bulky. So these ones here I picked up many years ago from Michael's in the dollar bin. Then I have some of these ones here, the clear ones. These are always nice. Having clear are nice because you know exactly where it stamps. And especially with the borders where you want to keep continuing the line on, it's nice to see where you stamped and where you're going to put it. So this is a page I haven't shared yet, but this is a page that I did, and I put the border stamps all the way around. So that's how I use border stamps. Another type of stamp that I love to use in my Fauxbonichi are images that I can color, or just because I like the look. Sometimes I don't even color them. And here is what I mean by images. I just purchased these. They happen to be on my desk here. So those type of images, or these ones here, just to add some interest, especially on the days that I don't have all that much to write about, then I'll add images in here. I like to color, or I like to stamp images in my Fauxbonichi, even if I don't color them. Here's one. That's a stamp that I colored. This is a stamp that I was going to color, but I never got around to doing it. And then this one I stamped directly on the paper and colored it in. So that's a little relaxing after all the writing, and then you get to color something at the end. It's kind of nice to do that. So that's another type of stamp I use. Another type of stamp I like to use are word stamps. So I like to use these, they're called date stamps, but they mostly have words on them as opposed to dates. And when I was very organized, I would keep them, and I had enough room at the time to keep them in one of these old Stampin' Up containers. And how I organized them was, say this pink one here, I would stamp all these words in pink so I knew which one they went with. So then if I was looking for remember, I know, oh, it's in the pink one, and then this and that is the green one. And so I just color coordinated the handles with the stamps. And I also have, well, almost every stamp set you get usually has something on them, usually has some words or a little saying on them. Then I have this container here, and this has letters and words right on it. So all of these have a word, a letter, sentiments. This is another, I have a thing with dates. So here's another little calendar thing. I totally forgot about that one. I might be able to use that one in there as well. Yeah, so I might have to check that one out. And here's some more. A lot of these little ones here, because where I use my words mostly is down here in the little thankful area. Like that one says good stuff. This one here says I love today. So a lot of these little stamps work really well with my little thankful, or something that made me smile. That's my little area. I write something every day down. And so this one here is like in every moment, or the little things. So I can put those in there. And another thing that I've done, I deconstruct my stamps. This one here says what I love today, but I didn't like the circle part. So what I did was I cut out the words, and oh, you can't see it on here, but I cut the words out, what I love today. And for here, I didn't leave my 6 spaces. I think I put the washi tape underneath it instead of on top of my line. So this one says I love today, and all I did was I just didn't stamp the what. When I was stamping it, I missed that part. So there are a lot of the different types of stamps that I use in my Fauxbonichi. Number 6 on my list is inks, and I mostly use these little tiny teardrop memento inks, and for a couple reasons. Memento doesn't bleed through, and I like the teardrop inks because I can bring a whole lot of colors with me. Like I had mentioned many times before, I like to travel with my Fauxbonichi, so having this many inks It's a nice thing. I really like it. And what else do I keep? I used to keep all these inks in one of those Stampin' Up! Boxes, but I had trouble keeping, you had to pile them up in twos, and a block wouldn't fit. So I always have a block. I usually have a small block too, but I don't know where it is at the moment. And this is one of those Ferrero Rocher boxes. Yes, another chocolate box, but they make it out of really good durable plastic. So why get rid of it if you can reuse it? And another thing I do is, these are the stamps I use all the time for my goals. I hope you can see them, all these little stamps here. And I just stick them on the lid. They're from different packages, so instead of opening a whole bunch of different packages, I just stick them all on here. And because they are in the container, when I shut the container, they're contained in there already. So if they do fall off, they're going to be in the container and I hopefully won't use them. But because they're clear acrylic, they stick. Because they're that clear plastic, they stick on this plastic container. So this is perfect for me. And I keep these stamps in here all the time. And these are what I use them for. So these are my goals. So I keep them in there because every day I will stamp a heart, hopefully every day, because that's my 10,000 steps, or if I had a pop, or I don't know, like if I read a book. Whatever I've done in my goals, I try and keep up with them quite a bit, like at least once every, should be every day, but honestly it's not. But that's why I keep them all in one area so I don't have to search all over the place for them. So this is number 6, my inks. Okay, I think we're on number 7, and mine would be Post-it notes. And I like these lined Post-it notes. And these are for when I am really behind, and then I can write the date and then what I did those days. So that is what this is for. Or I will stick one on and I'll just write a little point form of what I did that day so I won't forget about it when I am behind, because I'm always behind. So this is number 7, Post-it notes, Post-it sticky notes. These are the stickers I use for my goals, to write the word goals in. So they have the letter stickers, and then they have shape stickers, and I have a binder of stickers that I'm trying to get rid of, and that also is in my Fauxbonichi. So number 8 on my list would be coloring mediums. I love to color. I love looking at colors. I just really enjoy it. And I have a whole range of different ones that I use in my book. And I use some of these, just these cheap Recollections ones. I think they were like $7 or $5, and they're pretty good. And then these ones here, these are for quick coloring. My Copics, of course. I love my Copics, as most of you know. But if I'm going to color in my Fauxbonichi, then I need the blotter in between the pages, because the Copics will just really soak through not only one page, quite a few pages. So you definitely need something to soak up the underneath of the pages, the color. And then I use my Stampin' Up! Markers. And what I like about the Stampin' Up! Markers, as well as the Distress, but that they have the 2 tips. So they have the brush tip, and then they also have a fine tip if you wanted to get into detail, or even journaling. These really work nice for journaling as well. So that's what I like about the Stampin' Up! Markers, and very lovely colors in here as well. The Tim Holtz is more, of course, a distress marker, but still, I love to color with these as well, and watercolor with these, and the Stampin' Up! These ones actually are very similar to me. One or the other, if you had to get one or the other, I don't think it would matter. So there's those, and I haven't used these too much in the Fauxbonichi, but the Inktense, these are watercolor pencil crayons, and what I like about these is once they are dry, they're set, so you don't have to worry about them like reactivating with water, because once they're dry, they're set. But they do make your pages pretty crinkly when you add the water, so that's probably why I don't use those too much, but I have used them. One of my favorites right now is the colored pencils, and then I blend with the stumps, and then I just put the mineral spirits in here with a sponge. This, by far, right now, is what I've been using. And I was asked to do a review on these, and I haven't done it yet, but the Chameleon. Now, the reason I like these is because they're portable, easy enough for me to carry when I bring it to camp. And you don't need so many colors because they blend. One color will turn into, I don't know, 20 colors, I guess, depending on how much of the blending solution you put on the tip. If you're familiar with those, then you know. So these are, I don't want to say they're similar to Copics because they're not. They're the same as in they're both alcohol-based markers. If I had to pick between one or the other, I would 100% choose my Copics. But like I said, right now when I'm coloring, this is what I've been using. I've been coloring with my colored pencils and the blending stumps and the mineral spirit. So that's what I've been mostly coloring with lately. So my ninth choice for my supplies in my Fauxbonichi would have to be my cell phone. And the reason for that is I have the dictionary app. And I love this app because I always doubt myself on my spelling. And I probably am wrong most of the times because I'm not a very good speller. But I use the dictionary app all the time. And I still spell things wrong. And I also have my blog on here, so I can look back and see what days I've missed, because I'm usually behind when I'm doing my Fauxbonichi. So this way I can just check and see what days I was behind on, click it, and see what I did that day. So this is number 9. My number 10, my last final supply I use in my Fauxbonichi are things to help me see better. So the first is my cheater glasses. I don't have a prescription, but I have cheaters, and I actually really need them. And the second is this lamp. It's nice and tiny. It plugs into my computer because usually I'm beside my laptop all the time, so it plugs in there. And then it has this light. Gives good light, and has this fan, which I don't even use. This was only like $10, and it's really cheap. You could tell it's made cheaply. I've had to washi tape. Mind you, I don't usually use the fan, but I had to washi tape it because I was just hanging there with the wires exposed. But I really like this because I do a lot of my journaling when we're watching TV, and I don't want to disrupt my husband or anybody else because we like to watch them in the dark. I turn this on, so I just have task lighting, and it's perfect. So those are my 10 most often used Fauxbonichi supplies. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all had a very creative day today. Bye now. As MousePotatoDesigns, and she is, what's the word I'm looking for? Boss? No. Inventor? No. I think I need another pop. Oh, there's a hair there. I have also used these types of date stamps. Oh, it's still there. Gross. Okay. As I put in, ooh, we don't want to see that. Can we turn this on? It's dead. There we go. Yeah, my thing sucks. I hear my husband walking down the stairs. Bet she's going to ask me if he needs some help.
Grace, are you doing a video?
Yeah. Told you he needed my help.